The escape pod had crashed 3 kilometers from the human outpost, carving a burning scar across the frozen tundra of Epsilon 7. Lucas was the first to reach it, his medical kit bouncing against his hip as he ran through the snow. The pod's hull was still smoking when he pried open the emergency hatch. Inside, slumped against the seat restraints, was a woman unlike any he'd ever seen. Her skin shimmered with iridescent scales that caught the pale, light deep crimson fading to gold along her neck and arms. 2 curved horns, now cracked and bleeding, emerged from her temples. Her eyes, when they fluttered open briefly, were molten amber with slitted pupils. She wore armor that looked like it had been forged from starlight itself, now shattered and torn. "Easy," Lucas murmured, checking her pulse. It was strong but erratic, thrumming beneath his fingers like a war drum. "I've got you." He called for Francis on his com. "Found a survivor. Draconian species, I think. She's in bad shape. Bring the stretcher." Francis arrived within minutes, her breath forming clouds in the frigid air. She took one look at the wounded woman and whistled low. "That's military-grade armor. What's left of it, anyway?" "Doesn't matter who she is," Lucas said, already applying dermal regenerators to the worst of the burns. "Right now she's a patient." They transported her to the medical bay, little more than a converted storage unit with basic equipment. The outpost on Epsilon 7 was a mining operation, not a hospital, but Lucas had trained for emergency medicine, and Francis had steady hands. The woman drifted in and out of consciousness as they worked. Her scales made treatment difficult. Conventional scanners couldn't penetrate them properly. Lucas had to work by touch and instinct, setting broken bones, sealing wounds, purging toxins from her system. 3 fractured ribs, he muttered, working carefully. Plasma burns across 40% of her body. Internal bleeding. How the hell is she still alive? Draconian physiology, Francis said, monitoring the vital signs. I've read about them. Incredibly resilient. But Lucas... Her wounds. These aren't from a crash. These are combat injuries. Then someone tried very hard to kill her, Lucas replied grimly. Through the night, they worked in shifts. Francis researched what little information was available about draconian medicine while Lucas stayed by the woman's side, adjusting IVs and monitoring her condition. Once, she stirred, her hand shooting out with surprising strength to grip his wrist. "Safe," she rasped, her voice like gravel and silk. "Yes," Lucas assured her. "You're safe. Just rest." Her eyes, bright with fever and pain, searched his face. Then she released him and slipped back into unconsciousness. By the 3rd day, she was stable enough to sit up. Lucas brought her synthesized broth, the closest thing they could manage to protein-rich nutrients her species might need. "I'm Lucas," he said, handing her the bowl. "That's Francis. You crashed near our mining outpost." The woman accepted the bowl with both hands, her clawed fingers trembling slightly. "I am Krivith. Is someone looking for you?" "Krivith?" Francis asked gently. "We can send a distress signal." "No." The word came out sharp, almost panicked. Then, softer, "No signals, please. They might find me." Lucas and Francis exchanged glances. "Who's they?" Lucas asked. Krivith's eyes darkened. "The ones who did this." She gestured to her healing wounds. "I need time to recover. Then I will leave. I will not endanger you further." "You're not endangering us," Lucas said firmly. "You need at least 2 more weeks before those bones are fully healed. Longer, probably, for the deep tissue damage." Over the following days, Krivith proved to be a reluctant patient. She pushed herself too hard, trying to walk before she should, refusing pain medication, but she also watched Lucas and Francis with something like wonder. "Your species is strange," she said one evening as Lucas checked her healing ribs. "You are so... fragile, yet you face danger without hesitation." Lucas laughed. "I wouldn't call treating wounds facing danger. You ran toward a burning crash," Krivith countered. "You took in a stranger of an unknown species. You have given freely of your resources, asked for nothing in return." She tilted her head. "Why? Because you needed help," Francis said simply, joining them with fresh bandages. "That's enough reason." Krivith was quiet for a long moment. "In the wider galaxy," she said finally, "such kindness is rare. Most species calculate the cost of everything, weigh the benefit before acting. But humans," she shook her head slowly, "humans are either the bravest or the most foolish beings I have encountered." "Maybe both," Lucas suggested with a grin. On the 10th day, a ship appeared in orbit. Krivith sensed it before their sensors did, rising from her bed with sudden urgency. "They're here," she said. "My people, they've been searching." The ship that landed was unlike anything Lucas had seen, sleek and deadly, bristling with weapons that could level continents. The soldiers who emerged wore the same starlight armor as Krivith, but theirs was intact and gleaming. They knelt when they saw her. "Empress," the commander said, his voice reverent, "we feared you were lost." Lucas felt his stomach drop. "Empress, Krivith." No, the Empress turned to face him, and Francis. "I am Krivith Ashmora, Supreme Commander of the Draconian Armada. Guardian of the 12 systems, breaker of the siege of Orion." She smiled faintly. "Though you knew me only as a patient in need, you're the most powerful warrior in the galaxy," Francis breathed. "The histories say you've never lost a battle, that you defeated an entire invasion fleet single-handedly, and yet," Krivith said quietly, approaching Lucas, "I could not heal myself. I could not save myself." She placed a scaled hand over his heart. "You did that. You who are not warriors. You who asked for nothing." She stepped back and addressed her soldiers. "Let it be known throughout the galaxy, humanity has the friendship of the Draconian Empire. Any who threaten them threatens us." As her ship prepared for departure, Krivith paused at the ramp. "If you ever need aid, Lucas of Earth, Francis of Earth, call for me. I will come." "Just doing our job," Lucas said, though his voice was thick with emotion. "No," Krivith replied, her amber eyes bright. "You were being human, and that, I have learned, is the most extraordinary thing in this galaxy." The ship rose into the sky, leaving Lucas and Francis standing in the snow, watching until it disappeared among the stars, while Francis said eventually, "That was unexpected." Lucas laughed, the sound carrying across the frozen plain. Just another day on Epsilon 7. But they both knew humanity had just made the most powerful ally in the known universe, simply by doing what came naturally, helping someone in need.